Today's podcast is sponsored by... Sponsored by? Did you say sponsored by? Yeah, we're sponsored officially now. We're legit. That's how you get Obama on your fucking podcast. You get sponsorship, and you get sponsored by someone you like I like, Audible.com. Over 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free download of your choice by going to www.audiblepodcast.com/Doug Stanhope. That's right, Doug Stanhope. And why am I sponsored by Audible.com? Well, you know what? You're going to hear about it during this podcast. So thank you, Audible.com, and we'll be waiting for Obama. He'll be here any day.
In the ice bucket. I have ice because I am drinking a vodka soda lemonade champagne orange juice. I have a vodka soda splash of lemonade with a mimosa in it, so that's why I have ice. I didn't want to wait till we're already podcasting now, and I didn't want to wait and have to make a drink, so I just made the mimosa inside of my vodka drink.
But can you see one from the other, or does it mix together?
No, I all I can see is a brighter future in that glass. That's all I look at.
Where'd you get the lemonade?
I have it in the fridge.
Are we podcasting?
Yeah, we're podcasting with Lynn Shawcroft.
Good afternoon, evening, and morning.
Yep, it's a morning at the end of the Canada tour after the Vancouver show, which, for the conditions, it went rather well.
Yes.
For the conditions.
And the conditions
The conditions were fucking, again, all standing 145 degrees and with, too many comics, all good comics.
Yeah.
But when it's standing...
This was the show last night at the Rickshaw Theater.
The Rickshaw, yeah. And they're lovely people in the worst fucking... I wanted people to take pictures of this homeless encampment, worse than Skid Row, LA.
Oh, it's insane.
On the opposite side of the street.
Yep.
For 4 blocks at least.
Yes, and dense.
Yeah,
like it looked like people that were on the side of the road for a parade, like that much of a gathering, and this is where they live, do business, and it's crazy.
It was like a flea market that couldn't afford tables, and they were actually, you saw people transacting business, like they had a sheet laid out where they're
there was insanity, close, and it's crazy. If you drive there at night, it's literally like driving through a scary graphic novel of the end of the time.
Slab City in a city.
Zombies, yeah. So what's Slab City?
Slab City's some weird thing I don't know enough about, but I did watch a documentary. It's out somewhere around, what's that weird part of the lake that used to be a tourist destination that... Now it's all dead fish in Southern California.
Oh,
what's that fucking? That's another.
Havasu?
No.
Oh, no.
God damn it! Don't everyone email me. We'll figure
this out. Just 1 second.
Out.
But you're talking about Slab City?
Yeah, it's out there somewhere.
And what is it? Like just a bunch of people of nothingness?
Yeah, it's like a Burning Man without the party. Like if Burning Man ended and everyone that was broke and had no money to get out of there still lived there.
And they're just, fuck.
And they have this community and they barter shit. You know, hey, I'm out of gasoline. I'll trade you meth. If I can
I used to romanticize that and think that would be good, but I used to traveled through Central America by myself when I was younger, and like it's those broke people that like make a shitty little bracelet, and they're like, "Can I get cigarettes for that?" It's just like a constant like begging and
it's
like
I have a lot of things you don't want.
Yeah.
And I want to trade them for things you need.
Yeah, and it's just like the way we all wake up like surviving, being alive, but it's just that weird surviving. Ugh.
Well, we went Andy Andrus through this and Mamu. This camping weekend that we went to up in Oregon.
Yes, I was on that. Remember? I was too fat to camp.
That was your quote.
I was like, I'm too fat to camp.
I'm too fat to camp. We're sleeping in like a bus stop with bunk beds.
Yes, hardwood. Yeah.
And it was fucking freezing at night in the middle of summer. And
that's right.
I mean, there were fun
It was
moments.
beautiful, yeah, but it was crazy.
But that's why every time Joe Vernon always tries to get me to go to Burning Man. Oh, we can get an RV, and no.
The people. I don't go to any. I don't like to go to anything anymore that getting to and from is hard. Like that's why I can't go to concerts. Whenever I think of concerts or a sports game, I'm like, oh, but the parking and levels and elevators and tickets. Yes, it just seems too crazy.
I worry about. I know how I'm gonna feel when I wake up. As much fun as you can describe the night before, I focus on how I'm gonna feel when I wake up. And if there's not a fucking breakfast till 11 and a soft bed and someone
you're right. Oh, I know. You grow out of like when I was younger, like I would sleep on people's carpets that had cigarette burns and like bottle caps in my eye, and my underwear would be like on fire, and I'd be like, hey, start the day, I gotta go to work. And now I can't do any of it.
No, it's all
it's like
I live for the hangover.
Well, you
literally. I mean,
justify that. Yeah, I feel for the hangover. But that made me think of a thought. But you're gonna go, why did you think of that? Because of this. But I was just thinking about so really, really rich people. I don't care what they do. I don't care like what they do. Spend money, gold toilets, jet planes. But the only thing I hate that really rich people do is when they move their car to another country. Like when they come from like somewhere and they take their car with them, because like so many people get their head bonked and like probably I hate it. Like it's just so uncomfortable. Like the work put into that.
Yeah, you're right. I have absolutely no idea why you thought of that or decided to say it out loud. So you're right. It's like we know each other.
Yes.
It's like we can finish each other's sentences by saying, "Why did you say that sentence?"
I know I knew you're like I don't know why you said it. But happy birthday to someone who's having a birthday.
That's a shout out from Lynn Shawcroft. She's looking into your soul.
Yeah.
Let's talk murder.
Yes. Oh, I was going to get to murders. Okay. So the show last night was on Hastings, which is it's like literally a living hellish nightmare of
Junkie
like
town.
addiction and horrible. But I was just reading a book because I'm really into murders. I love my murders.
Wait.
And there was a murder on that strip.
You listened to a book on audible.com, didn't you? All right, let's just start weaning this in.
Yeah.
This is our first
ad
sponsored.
How many sponsors do we have?
This is the only one.
Oh, okay.
Other than the ones we
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
sponsors.
Can you turn off your Audible?
So you listen to this on audible.com.
Audible.com, and what it was I think it was maybe 10 years or so ago, and
Before they existed.
Prostitutes were going disappear. Oh yeah. So I was listening to Audible like when I was about 3 or 4, and in my family we used to gather around the Audible as a family and listen.
Back when it had a crank.
Yes. Yeah, when we just got the first microwave and we were listening to Audible while cooking our pizzas. But anyway, so there was a serial killer that was on that strip, like the Hastings Nightmare, and prostitutes were going missing, and like tons started going missing, and it was the type of thing like they'd be gone for years before anyone noticed or anything.
Well,
and it was this guy out in Langley, which is a suburb, that had a pig farm, was taking them and murdering them.
Well, for the listeners who've never been to Hastings, the reason that the prostitutes could go missing for years is they're not the kind of girls who have regulars.
Yes, exactly.
Where's Tracy?
Yeah.
I mean, Tracy's. I come
I
every
go to
week for
Katrina
Tracy.
every Tuesday. Yeah.
So a
She
guy
said
in a
she-
pig farm.
Guy in a pig farm was coming to get them, and then like cutting them up and stuff like that, and it was like horrible. But this is a cynical view. He was cleaning up the streets, but it's shitty, right? Like it's horrible. That's not funny, but
I imagine the hookers showing up and seeing the pigs and going, "I'm not into that."
Yeah,
and him sharpening a knife, going, "We're not going to be into this either."
The thing about the pigs is he didn't make them have sex with the pigs, but he did make them make out with the pigs. Can you imagine like necking a pig?
I don't kiss on the mouth.
When I was a kid, when I was little, my
accent was a vacillating Southern or black for a Canadian hooker. I'm sorry, it was nowhere near what a Canadian hooker would sound like.
Yeah. What would a Canadian sound like? Well, here's the thing. This is really statistically true. Canadian hookers, they're smarter than the average like the first year university in America. You know what I mean? Like just because of our education system. Like if they drop out in grade 3, become street hookers, it's like first year Yale in America. It's like that's from a book or something. I think there's something on audible.com called Compare the Education Systems of North America.
Hookers, North versus South. Will it ever end? Will the rivalry continue?
Whereas an American hooker, her mentality is like...
Did I tell you the story about me and your husband trying to get cheap hookers in in Vancouver, this city?
What?
We were playing...
When were you... Are you talking about Mitch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Mitch
what
Hubbard.
other husband do you have?
I don't know. I might have been married before.
Yes.
If someone dies, does that mean you're divorced? No.
Well, a lot of times after he died, I would say it's Hedberg's ex.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not an ex.
Right.
And then
I might have been an ex now, but yeah.
I started calling you the old Witter Hedberg.
Yes. But this is really crazy. After Mitch died, you're not going to believe how many people actually said this to me straight face, like, oh, that's horrible, but at least you didn't go through a shitty divorce. I was like, are you fucking crazy? People are like, yeah, they're horrible. And this one girl goes, oh, you didn't go through a shitty divorce. At least he liked you. I'm like, I wouldn't care if he doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't, like, there's a nothing where he was. But at least you didn't get ugly. What the fuck? People are crazy.
There was a really shitty and on the verge of going belly up club we co-headlined in our early days in Surrey, BC, the Comedy Cave, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. And I remember we're thinking we're not going to get paid. And at the last minute, we did get paid. And
how would you have gotten here? Did you drive or bus or train?
We drove. That's the one where he had to get the minister's permit for the stolen Tupperware.
Yeah,
and when he was take leftovers way too seriously.
When Mitch was like 18, you know what's great is I have the mugshot for that, and he's got full on perm, like rock and roll Kiss haircut, and it's the mugshot. I'm gonna put it in the book. It's amazing. It's literally like puffed and then long headshot. So when he was 18, he broke into a car with his friends and they stole Tupperware. So but he got a lawyer to get it off the record, but it came back when he tried to cross the border.
When he tried to get the work.
Have you ever been arrested like for anything like that? Shoplifting, drunk driving, anything?
Disturbing the peace.
Why?
Because I was laughing at my friend. I think I just told this story on a recent podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was laughing at a cop for my friend got arrested, and he's going, "Fuck you, you cocksucker! Take off that fucking gun! I'll kick your fucking ass!
I would never.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell!"
Oh my god!
And I just was laughing on the other side of the street. So just out of spite, he goes, "You think it's funny? You're under arrest for disturbing the peace." Just for laughing.
God! Would you ever? I would never be like that to a cop. Like I could be like, "Fuck
That's
the
why
system."
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be like, "Fuck the system," but as soon as a cop, I would never be like, "Fuck off" to a cop.
And this was
ever.
in very suburban Worcester. No one ever talked back to an authority figure. I'm 17 years old, and just to see not only
was he drunk? Like,
no, he was a prick. He was this bad seed kid that I. Anyway, so Hedberg and I, we finally get paid last night. And the doormen guys, staff we're hanging out with, took us into Vancouver, and the streetwalker hookers that they're showing us were better than like A-list titty dancers in the States.
Oh yeah, there used to be a street called Richard Street, and the hookers were stunning, like Miss World, like Miss Universe type looking.
So I see one and I go, drop me off. I asked the door guy that's driving us around, I go, what's the minimum? And he said $50 or whatever. And I said, drop me off here and pick me up in an hour.
Oh my God, that takes balls. Yeah,
it was worth
Had you
it.
been to one yet?
Well, they drop me off and take off. They're going to bars and stuff with Hedberg. Yeah. And so I go out and I sheepishly, I'm not really good. And I go,
how do you do it?
So, and I said,
"What to your groin?"
The point. However, I approached her awkwardly. I get to, well, what's the minimum? And it was $100, and we had just got paid. So when he told me $50, I gave Hedberg all my money except the minimum that they told me, and it was double that. And she wasn't bartering.
Oh,
so then I had to sit on a bus bench next to a hooker for 55 more minutes waiting for my friends to come back because I said, pick me up in an hour. And, couldn't even make small talk. I don't think she was there for the full hour, but I was.
Right. Oh, what a nightmare.
Yes, before
Had you been to
phones.
anyone? Oh, yeah. which is like, I mean, everyone talked about it. I can't even. My thing is always like, how did they make the movie Ben-Hur without like fax machines or cell phones? Anyway, had you been to a hooker before?
Oh yeah, but
see, if I was a guy, I would have gone to hookers a lot. But it's just like I wouldn't know how. You know, when you haven't entered a world, like you don't know the protocol of it, like before you like knew how to buy drugs or whatever. But like, how did you know the protocol of with a hooker? Like, what was the way you did it?
I still don't. I never got comfortable with hookers. I was always overly
really?
polite.
Yeah.
Because I always assume everyone else is a dick to them.
Yes.
And then you realize most of them are trying to fucking rip you off. But you still can't be a dick because they're probably abused. And
yeah.
I've seen enough documentaries that it would be really difficult for me to get a hooker in good faith, not thinking there's someone sitting in the parking lot that is, beating her or
it's a really
mentally controlling her.
But have you always got hookers like from the street or like, how there's different echelons? Like,
no, mostly call girls.
Okay. That's crazy.
Between the internet, before that, it was the back page of the weekly.
Yeah. I think Mitch was telling me one time, him and his friends, I think it was Mitch. It was like, I think they went to Tijuana and then they did it. But his complaint was like, look, I just think she was faking it. And I go, oh, really? Did that bother you? Is that what really hurt you? You didn't blow her mind? He's like, I just, like, they're acting. And I was like, okay, weirdo.
Yeah, well,
if I was a guy, I would have at least gone to them.
I didn't care what they were, it was.
And it doesn't matter what they look like or anything. It's just it's a very weird thing because it's probably filled with that electric moment. Like you said, something bad could go down at any moment. Something weird like stealing or they could fucking beat you up. Like that's what would be weird is it's just a weird
Yeah, no, I would have a system where you just, all right, hooker proof the room.
Which is
every
what?
valuable
Cover up the plugs?
Yeah.
And
hide it. But generally, it was in early days. It was straight up horny, like back where it's
just horny,
full on fucking libido. I gotta stick. If it's not in you, it's gonna be in a fucking wall socket.
Yeah, exactly.
Something, anything.
Yeah.
And then that was usually drug nights, like lots of coke,
and then it gets in your head,
and you're probably never gonna be able to come, but you're gonna try.
But you're so horny,
yeah. That's when you actually, how much is it by the hour, and you're calculating the amount of time, because that never used to be an issue.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. They assume it's gonna be minutes.
Right. And you're like, no, I've been doing blow all night.
Maybe we should go for the 2. Is that?
Can we
cheaper?
do the $1 a minute?
Yeah.
It should be $1 a minute. Like shitty hookers, $1 a minute. Great hookers, $2.50 a minute.
Well, yeah, the quicker you can make me come.
Yeah.
Like, how about $2.50 for 5 minutes and $20 for an hour? Because if it takes you an hour, you're not good at your job.
Yeah. And also, if it's doing the hour, she's not doing anything more, or maybe she's. I can't be sure. I have to go back to. I think there's a book on Audible about hooker protocol that I.
I've had times where I finished quickly and then
you don't get money back.
I want to talk. Now I want to chat.
I was about to say, have you ever pulled the cliche? Can I just get some money? I don't want anything from you.
I get more blow. I want someone to listen. I don't even want to talk. I want you to listen because I'm doing blow and I want to have my own run-on sentences.
That's crazy.
Actually, don't even touch my dick. Just listen to this story.
When my eyebrows goes up, you laugh at good pacing throughout my diatribe. Yeah. Oh my God, crazy.
That'd be a great way to start my next special. Is get a hooker.
Yeah.
And have you seen that show? It's fucking awful. It's like intervention for prostitutes.
Oh no! Oh, to stop them from prostituting?
Yeah. This guy's a former sex addict. Oh, so convenient. You get into this line of work.
Yeah.
Getting hookers off the street. And he's a pastor.
Oh, my God.
Really
and
90%,
he goes, a lot of the filming, a lot of the really big techniques that he used to get them is off camera.
Well, he also
de-sexes them.
He has like his team off camera that come in. It's like bar rescue intervention.
Right.
Have former sex workers, and he gets them into the hotel, and it's like so.
Like,
cheesy.
is it like a woman comes in and like she's prostituting, and they're like, "We're getting you on."
He calls a hooker off the internet, and she comes in.
Let's start doing interventions for people in other jobs. I'm like, let's get that pool cleaner out of his situation. Like, it's someone's fucking job in a way. Like, how dare you? But I sort of get it.
Yeah. Anyway,
that wasn't funny.
No, I forgot completely what I was saying.
Oh no! So he brings him in.
But do that with the same hidden cameras and bring her in and make her listen to my hour before I go out on stage.
Yes, yeah.
That would be funny,
hilarious. Yeah.
Way to. I just couldn't. I don't think I could do it. I couldn't keep a straight face and talk to a hooker.
Would you do it and then go on the stage, or that would be the special? Is practicing paying a hooker to listen? Like,
that would be the setup to the special.
Right.
Some people are in the green room,
like boxing.
Pacing back and forth.
Yeah, yours is paying someone to listen.
Just doing those exact same bits.
But they're also wearing underwear.
All right, the Chris Rock special where he did it like in 3 different countries or something. I didn't watch it. I know it exists.
Yeah, I know
so
what you mean.
So it would cut from the same bit to him doing the same bit in another city or another country or some shit. So you could occasionally cut back to
and
me
like finish the
saying
sentence
it to a hooker that's weirded out.
Yeah.
Because they'd sign a release.
Hookers?
Now I'm overthinking this. This is a podcast.
Oh yeah, okay.
Now I'm going over reasonable expectation of privacy. You have to do this.
Oh my God, you're actually thinking about getting the release, from the hooker.
Exactly.
That's so
it's
easy.
It's a fucking good idea.
It's a great idea. But
I know, but you also have the issue of if you bring them into a place where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy, then it depends on the state.
Oh yeah, because the act itself of getting a hooker is. What about getting an actor to play one? See, I wouldn't want that.
Actually, no, because I want to do it in Minneapolis, and I know that we did hidden camera there, and we wouldn't have done it if it was a two-party consent state. So it's got to be a single-party consent state.
Have you been listening to too much Audible? You've fucking got some lot of law on the mind. Two-party consent. I don't know anything about the law.
Well, it's because you're Canadian. You don't have laws. Because everyone does everything by the books on the honor system.
Oh, you know what I figured out? This is the whole, if I ever had a kid, or like there's 2 sentences. Okay, what are the 5 most or 6 most dangerous words that said in the world? I have a family to feed. That destroys the world because people will do anything to protect their family. Wars, gutting people, spilling things. And then, just look at your face trying to understand what I'm talking about. And then also, this is the advice I would get out, like for anybody. Don't get caught. That's the whole thing of life. Don't get caught. Because everybody does everything. It's just either whether you get caught or not.
Now I was looking for how that tied into what we were saying. Like I'm going from hookers to, Canada has no laws.
Yeah.
And here's.
I don't know.
The laws.
Don't get mad. I have a mental illness.
You have a lot of them. But I love everyone. Every day I decide which one I love more.
Well, do you the way that you
plow into a room late for a show, open up your bag in a giant nest on the floor and start flipping through. I just have to change my clothes. I just need one thing. And the one thing is the last thing that didn't go flying through the air in an arc across the entire floor of the entire hotel room. And then you run in and go, I don't fit in this. You always think you don't fit in whatever you're wearing.
Because I'm always feeling uncomfortable. It's like, you don't understand. That was really fast for me to turn around and get out. Like, it's got to the point where if I leave the house, like, it's taking hours now. Like, I'll be, like, getting things ready, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, I should wash the curtains. Like, and I'm like, oh, no, I don't. And, like, it's like, it's a real issue. But do you know this? My mom died when I was 3. And as I saw her die, like, my very first thought is, I never linked this together, but my very first memory is my mom had an aneurysm and died. And I just went to go talk to someone about this. And what happens is he goes, well, yeah, you were living in security. And after that, everything was not unsure for the rest of your life. And no one took care of you after. So I'm in a constant I keep myself in a constant agitated state. But it's really cute, right?
It's adorable.
No, but it's making me like hell. It really is hurting me.
I know that, sometimes I go, I hope there is another opener because sometimes Lynn misses her flight
Yeah.
And sometimes she...
But in a weird way, but also, what about this? You have a lot of friends that like are going to come out but can't afford things, don't know how to make their own schedules. I still have that great standard of like, I fucking know about hotels and flights, and I'm
completely
laser like that.
Self-sufficient,
but there's also the weirdness going on. But like, yeah, like I understand, but yeah.
I know, yeah. Hey, Lynn, we got to catch our flight. You know what? I'm going to catch a cab. And I go, she's not going to make this flight. And I know you could stay here for 3 extra days.
And figure it all out.
And your life will go on fine.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's a weird unreliable. But do you have any behaviors like an OCD or weird things that you've had and changed? Or do you haven't? What are your behaviors that you've been able to just sort of deal with and overcome? Or my thing is if I like let people into my life and allocated some of my life to other people, I could deal with it better, like dealing with cleaning or I'm getting my pipes done. But then you
get trapped in it. And because we used to have the same business manager that you still have.
Yeah,
and I love Elise.
Yeah,
and,
she's gone.
Oh, that's over?
She loved you. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, at a certain level, you get talked into, when I get the man show, well, you should have a business manager that just, they take care of all your money. You never see a check.
Yeah.
It goes to
everything
them.
Gets paid. Yeah.
Your
like
electric bill, your phone bill, everything goes through them. You never have to worry about a thing.
Yeah, you don't worry about getting mail. And it does work for comics because if you're working in 50 states, you're getting 50 W whatever forms. And then also you might be on the road and not get your mail. Although it's changed now. Everything's paid online. But at the time. So you get talked into this business manager. And it is helpful on some level. But it's also, I feel like I live my life going, oh my God, they know I go to Rite Aid. You know what I mean? And like I live like that.
I'm not a very trusting person. And
I see.
It seemed like once I got fired from them. Like,
yeah. Because they take 5% of your income, and once it goes minimum of $1,500,
not having enough money.
Well, Mitch's second or first CD is like to ML management. He was always like, "Am I your poorest client?" And then one time they divulged that there was someone poor. But here's funny. One time Mitch was doing Letterman, and Letterman's in New York, and the manager, ML Management, is from New York. So the head guy came down, just, people come see you, you're about to do Letterman. And right before Mitch went on, he goes, oh yeah, go sign this because you got to pay another $12,000 in taxes. And like Mitch, like I saw in his notebook, like I look at his notebooks, and at that time he's like, your tax man telling you like right before you go on stage, you get $12,000 and stuff. So he did a joke about it. But like, can you imagine? Sign this, you another.
As you're about to go on Letterman. Stage
yes.
on Letterman.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, yeah.
And it was funny, but Mitch was like,
hey, don't worry about whatever happens out there.
Yes.
You're not making nearly enough money for this appearance as you're paying me right now for tax.
Yeah.
You
took over your money? Do you do all your money and like things and like, are you online bills paid and stuff?
Yeah, I do everything online. I have my accountants. I have the comics accountants that Todd Barry hooked me up with, and like every single comedian when you walk into their office, Harvey Altman. You walk in.
Oh, is Harvey Altman the name?
New York. Yeah.
Where's he? So he's your
Russell
accountant in the sense of doing your taxes every year.
Yeah, because I was asking once I got shit canned from ML Management.
You don't get shit canned. What it is if 5% is not enough, you have to pay $1,500.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it became cost prohibitive. So then I look around Bisbee and I got some fucking cattle farmer accountant.
Yes, I remember.
They had no idea. Like they had to look everything up. Wardrobe. Research. So then I had to gently let them go and ask around and like, hey, is there any? And Todd Barry was the guy that turned me on to Harvey Altman.
Right.
And you walk in and it's like walking into the Chicago Zanies where every comic's headshot is on the wall from I don't want to say names because I don't know, but people like Chris Rocks all the way back to fucking whatever.
And what level of is that your taxes at the end of the year, or so? What do you just send them stuff, or what else do they do? Like when you buy houses, do you
at the end I have to do corporate. I do all my shit. It takes me days, and I fucking hate it.
I love that you tackle
all
things.
of my. I hate doing it. But,
I know, but you do it. I just don't.
That's just to get it itemized to get to them. Takes me days of.
Yeah.
It's almost as bad as writing a book.
That's crazy though. But you do talk. You know what? I'm gonna make a confession. I think I might brag about you, not in the fact that I think you're amazing and I love you and brilliant, but I've said this before. Yeah, I have a friend who buys houses all the time. I've said that to people. Like in my family, yeah, my friend Doug, I think he bought a house last night. You don't spot. That's the one brag I have about you, and it's a weird one. Of all the things I can brag about you.
But it's so low level that it's technically correct.
Yeah. But I don't know why that was the thing that
properties. I could say that on a plane.
Yes,
and technically it's correct, but they don't know
I'm
that
land
they're
rich. Yeah,
broken
that's
down fucking.
You live in Rickety. The bartender here is absolutely delicious.
Hi. You know what? It's about time for a cigarette break anyway.
Yes.
And we'll be back. I have to talk to you about audible.com.
Yes, and we want to talk about a murder and another thing.
Yeah, I got it.
I just want to say, I just really like you guys.
Great news, kids. The much neglected merch page on my much neglected website has been taken over by Ggreg Chaille. So we have tour t-shirts, podcast t-shirts. We have Pop Off Vodka Presents t-shirts. Get them before we get sued, before we get the cease and desist. And a whole shitload of CDs and DVDs that span a lifetime. A sad, tragic, bloated lifetime of my fucking horrible thoughts and pontifications. So help me get that shit out of my crawl space. Thanks for that. And now, back to the podcast, previously recorded.
Have you ever sat in a long-winded conversation between two women and wish you could just put in some earbuds and listen to a good book on tape? Audible.com will get you out of a conversation between two chatty women.
What, talking about the meaning of life? Is that so wrong?
Well, I was about to hit play to go back into our podcast.
Yes.
And
Play.
Oh, wait, we're not supposed to say your name? Yeah. Chaille will bleep it out. All right, our favorite Canadian lady who brings us stolen Bibles from all over the world.
She's amazing.
From her job as a traveler. She said, just quickly before you hit play, my mother, and you go, this. You're not going to start a sentence with, my mother was a narcissist.
Okay, just real quick before you hit play. Now, the ego and the id, when they, lovely woman.
You know what? I want to do a commercial for Audible because because I want to explain, since they're my first sponsor.
How does that go about? How does that happen? Sponsors.
Chaille will have to explain it to you.
Okay.
I don't really know, but I agreed because books on tape in my years on the road, living on the road. No, back when it was.
Oh yeah. Do you remember when we were on the road and we got that Beatles thing? I still have that to this day.
Yeah, because
we got on tape.
Audio Adventures, who I fucked over all the time because they were kind of on the honor system.
Yeah,
where you'd get a book on tape from a truck stop and you could return it at any other flying.
Was it like renting a video kind of thing, and you would put it back in another thing? You could return it at
any other truck stop
location
that carried those.
Yeah.
So we listen to books on tape.
Yeah.
And they're fantastic.
It's amazing.
26 hours of crime and punishment
unabridged,
and you go, I'm going to be putting that kind of time into this road trip.
Yeah, exactly.
And now I want to use Audible because I know it's the same thing, only it's easy now. You don't have to return it. You just go online.
This is a question you might just be like, shut up. But when you think of like podcasts or video on the internet, in your brain, how do you see that stored? Like in a cloud, in a tunnel?
I don't even see it stored.
Like, where do you see it in your head?
I see it in Chaille's head, knowing if I say, hey, can we get a book on tape on your thing there?
Yeah.
He will figure out how to
like
download
digital,
it.
right?
Just podcasts alone. I tried to download all of Phil Hendry and Bill Burr, and what I did is wiped out all of the songs on my fucking iPod.
Oh, you know what? I was going to do this. When's your birthday? Because I want to be alone with your phone.
Today.
Alone with your phone for a day, and I was like, because I know like certain songs, like the dealing, like taking on learning about music is too crazy. It's like learning about like every ant on the planet. So there's so many, but I was gonna there's songs I was listening to Harry Nilsson, and I'm like, Stanhope like the song. So I would love to be alone with your phone and put in some good songs and some good podcasts.
I wouldn't know how to use it on my phone.
That's why push a button.
That's why this is a pre-advertisement for Audible. Because once I figure it out, I realize it's the same thing as do on Netflix, where I just go on these documentary binges and we talk.
Yes.
My biggest dialogue that if you want to engage me on Twitter,
Yeah.
I talk documentaries. I'll go on documentary binges, and that's the same as on the road.
Listening to
is
tape,
nonfiction.
Yes.
I don't read fiction.
I don't like fiction anymore. I used to read literature. Like I went to university and almost got a BA in English, and I used to read fiction. Like 20th century was the great novels. Now I can't even read fiction. I don't know why.
No, I don't like it at all.
I don't like. I used to be able to go in that world.
Yeah, I'd much rather read. What was that fucking email I got this morning?
Oh.
Or it was a tweet where someone said, "This is this podcast will be right up your alley. It's erotic fiction something."
Yeah.
I go, every word of that is terrible.
Yeah.
Erotic
fan fiction.
That's it.
Yeah.
It was erotic fan fiction podcast. All four of those words.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
that's hilarious. But I actually I did a joke. I do a joke about how I saw. I love documentaries. I saw this documentary about Haiti, and they found this guy who was buried under rubble for 30 days, and he lived. Good news. Quit smoking. Bad news.
Yeah, you did that joke last night. That was
but
hilarious.
the thing is, I always try and say this. I go, be careful what you wish for. I remember 15 years going, I wish there were more documentaries. And now there's a documentary about shoelaces. I am sure. There's so many. It's incredible.
Everything on Netflix. Like I now you're looking for new documentaries.
Oh, I know.
And here's the problem: is when I tweet it. Are there any good documentaries? Then I'd have to have a list of the ones I've already seen.
Yes.
That you can't tweet that.
Yeah.
Like I should have a
list that aren't these. Yeah. But documentaries are amazing.
But the point is, nonfiction on the road. I can't. You can listen to books on tape, which was now audible.com.
Exactly the same,
and you're listening to long versions of documentaries.
Yeah.
And you can go on Netflix binges listening to documentaries. I just don't, you can't fucking read while you're driving.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Because you live, think about it. You do the Bisbee to Tucson drive all the time. That's 90 minutes. I live in the mountains an hour from LA. So when I drive and I get something queued up, it's so exciting. You're listening to, I listen to Radiolab, or you know what I mean? Or it's amazing. Yeah. And that's why Audible's amazing.
And radio is useless now.
Right.
Unless it's emergency broadcast system.
What is emergency broadcast system?
The earthquake happened and you have to fucking tune in to find out where the walkers are or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody listens. I don't do terrestrial radio because nobody listens.
I never knew what terrestrial means. I know it's
AM, FM.
Yeah.
Hey, will you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to promote your show? No, not.
Yes. My God.
How about I put on a sandwich board and go outside of a vaudeville theater?
It makes me cry a little bit about Mitch. Like that guy worked for every fan. He was on the road. We got up for radio. We did when I look at the schedule, it's sick. And just, he died just before it would have been, he could do one podcast and fill theater. You know what I mean? The amount of work, it was incredible, how much work. And but he stuck to it. But morning radio, I remember going to a club and they're morning radio and the shows were already sold out. And that's when he was like, no, I'm done. And don't put me on sport. You know what I mean? Anything they could get him on.
Inappropriate venue.
Yes, they would have him on weird fucking.
Yeah, Soccer Mom, Light FM.
Yeah,
now you can't talk about this.
Yes.
And this. Oh.
Or we'd always do morning radio and they'd be like, you got your ball and chain with you, eh? And one pact Mitch and I always made was let's not sell each other out in the sense of oh yeah, men, or ball and chain. Let's not do that fucking cliched.
Yeah.
Sell each other out as she fucking is a ball and chain. Or I'd be like, he's a man, I guess. Seems to get and
unlike I do to bingo.
Yeah.
We play the George and Gracie where she plays up retarded and
yeah.
She's semi-retarded, but she'll play. She knows.
Yeah,
she's
you gotta
brilliant enough to play
it
it full hilt.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't ever go oh, she's on the rag. None of those cliched women kind of she drags you down. You want to be around that person. That's funny that you said George and Gracie. We were in a Seattle radio station, and I was standing off to the sides, and we were joking, and they go, "Hey, you're like George and Gracie," and Mitch was like, "What? She dies and I live to 100?" So, yeah. All
right, let's. That was pre-advertisement for the fact that, yes, I will be selling out to audible.com
Selling
as
out
long
to-
as they have me.
Yep.
I'm supposed to have like beats of things I'm supposed to, but you know what? Fuck you.
What do you mean by beats?
Well, I don't know. I'm supposed to have like, here's something like I have
I see.
like slash, hey, go to for a 30-day free trial.
Audible.com, you get a 30-day trial. Go to audible.com/Stanhope.
Stanhope, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
And you'll get
Chaille's
10%
gonna
off.
Chaille will plug it in at some point.
Yeah.
There'll be an awkward cut, and he'll.
See, I told you Chaille would fix this. You just had to wait till after the podcast and then make me do shit because now I have copy and stuff. But I don't want to read a lot of the copy because I haven't listened to it yet. I just learned from my niece, Sydney, how to use this. That's how I had to figure this out. And guess what? I can play it on my phone. I thought, I don't have an iPhone. You need an iPhone. But no, it works on Androids and a Kindle Fire, which I don't even know what that is, and a Windows phone, but it works on my phone. I guess it works on a lot of shit I didn't even know about. And you know what's great? Go pick a title. You get a free title when you go to audiblepodcast.com/Doug Stanhope. And if it sucks, this is the great thing. When I used to rent books on tape, like actual cassette tapes, if it sucked, yeah, I get the theory of whatever, the universe thing, the Stephen Hawking, read by the author. A Stephen Hawking book read by the author. And you're going, you are kidding me, right? Well, if that shit happens to you at audible.com, they're not going to fuck you over. You get another free, you go just say this sucks and you get another free one. They're that good. So I'm looking forward to reading. I've been reading books by comedians that I can't wait to hear how they sound read by the author. So yeah, as I'm writing a book, I'm going to be reading a bunch of books by comedians. And and hey, you know what? I do this with Netflix when I'm sitting around on the social media with you assholes, saying, hey, tell me a good documentary because I think I'm out on Netflix. Since I'm brand new to audible.com, tell me books you think I should read, especially nonfiction, because I really don't like to read fiction. But with over 180,000 titles, bang, huh? I'm nailing some beats. I've just read this copy for the first time. I think we pitched the shit out of audible.com. Free membership, get a free book when you sign up. It's a 30-day free trial. Yeah, I'm not going to go over. You can chime in. Audiobooks saved my comedy career when I was going insane, and I'll pitch the shit out of them. Audible, thanks for being my sponsor. Is Obama here yet? Let's go back to the podcast, already in progress, and see if Obama's on it.
Here's another thing you could do. You could be like, we could say we're talking about a murder and go, speaking of murder, I listened to the Devil in the White City on a thing, or
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to fucking actually be using it. I know
Yes.
he's going to have to show me.
I
I'm gonna
know,
have to
because would
learn.
you sell a shampoo you weren't using? You need to. Let's stop this.
I wouldn't. Yeah, people would know I don't shampoo.
Yeah.
They'd see me on the.
Yeah.
It's like when I first got done the tin can rehab, and then I'd post a picture where I'm smoking, and people would rat me out.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm not fucking lying to you. It just didn't come up.
It's a
I'm writing a
photo.
book. I'm fucking smoking cigarettes. Leave me
What-
alone.
Would you? Speaking of selling and like, I would love to get behind the mind and psychology of a human that agrees to have a perfume about themselves. That to me is like, who I would like. What kind of human like?
What kind of deranged
What
ego
is
do you
yeah
have?
like how does that get talked into, or how do you believe in yourself enough to have perfumes like called? And then I was like, maybe we should have a perfume called Stanhope.
Have you ever smelled a natural smell from a person that
Yeah,
you go, I wish I
need-
smelled
let's
like
bottle that. Yeah, like it's so weird in a weird way. Like think about yourself. Like having a name is weird enough, having a personality or an essence or energy, but then fucking having a perfume that people buy, it's so fucked up.
I'm only happy when a person doesn't smell
Yes.
as bad as I thought they might.
That's hilarious. Your perfume could be like,
Febreze.
yeah. Or like your stench, your rank and stench only is like 12 inches around you, your personal space of smell. That's what your perfume could be, a non-smell. Like not stinky is your perfume. But that's like the ego of a minister or a preacher. Like the people who have the egos to like create their own perfume and just think that's fine is like the same as like a fucking pope or something, like just to believe closer to God or I want
Yeah,
the
the
world to
Dalai
smell like
Lama.
me. Yeah, like what the fuck?
I'm just God. No, I'm
Yeah.
humble about it, though.
You know what the weird
No,
thing is? It's just
do you believe that? That's not humble.
I know, to be able to be like, yes, God talks through me, but it's about nothingness.
The people who talk about how great and progressive the Pope is because he's progressing. It's like people who say their baby is really smart. Yeah. Like, no, your baby's not smart. It's a fucking baby.
Yes, it doesn't
And
know
just 'cause
anything.
I'm a little more lenient with the queers.
I know.
Oh.
What's your bar if that is progressive? What's your bar? That's crazy.
Murder. Let's get back to murder.
Okay. Murder.
Murder. Well, last night, I don't know if you met my friend that came to the. You didn't come to the green room, but you met
Were
Lynn.
you at the show?
Yeah, she was at
my
the show.
God.
I know. She tried to hang out, but I did the whole meet and greet, and it took forever, and she has a life. Anyway, a friend of mine that was one of the loves of my life, that's been one of my best friends for 20
Yes.
years, and I see her rarely, but she lives in the area.
It's a regular thing.
Yeah.
Like,
She's one of the sweetest people I've ever known.
She's very sweet, yeah.
When I first met her, I fell in love with her, and I was back in my last telemarketing job, and I was going to hitchhike from Vegas to Alaska because she had moved up there. And well, I wanted her on the podcast really bad.
Yes.
She has a great murder story.
Yeah.
And we hinted at it at dinner last night, and you were saying, "I want to hear. I love murder. I love murder."
I know. Did I go too aggressive?
No, we both. But I didn't want her to tell it because I wanted her to tell it on the podcast because I don't remember all the details other than it's really fucked up and weird. And then she said, "I shouldn't do this because
here's the
upcoming thing. Let me get to
it.
I wanted it to be fresh for me on a podcast,
right?
And then." She's right. She probably shouldn't have done it and slapped that bee's nest because it was something to do with, I think it was a guy she was dating. Yeah. And it turned into this weird, if I can't have you, no one's going to have you, like RV into the outback of Alaska, and he's going to murder her and had her kidnapped.
Like kidnapped her and took her away. Yeah. Weeks.
And she escaped. And then
I would love to know about her escape.
He finally got arrested. He did this to another girl and murdered her.
Before or after her?
After, I
believe.
Right,
and murdered that one?
Yeah, and then she had to testify at his murder trial when they finally caught him in Southern California. And I went to the trial where she had to testify.
Yeah, she was saying that, she was just there and you showed up with a suit. She said it was, so sweet.
Yeah, and I glared at him with my my tough guy glare. Is that guy retarded? Is one of those eyes even looking at me? I'm not sure.
What did he look like? Was he weird?
I don't remember. This was 20 years ago.
Right, but here's the thing. So you said, "Oh yeah, Jackie's got a good murder story." We were having a cigarette. We went in and I said, "I heard you got a good murder story," and she wouldn't say anything, but she went, "No, because he's coming up for parole." So all these weird tidbits, and I'm like, "What? Who parole?" And she goes, "Yeah, it was bad. I had to testify." I'm like, "Oh my god!" She was involved in what I consider a dream life.
He
being involved in a murder.
Afterwards, they found tapes where he talked about he's going to murder her, and now he's up for parole, and they wanted to go speak at the parole hearing to keep him in, and she's. So some people are saying don't fucking stir up that bee's nest and make him want to murder you.
Right, because if he gets out, don't even be in his presence.
But then if he gets out because she didn't go and he murders her anyway, that's the last thing you want.
Because who knows? It's been a long time and a whole life, but who knows? But you know what? She should have gone and visited him.
It was not a crime of passion. It was a fucking multiple
obsessive
victim
organized. Yeah.
People like that hold on to crazy.
Oh, yeah. Fixation. Yeah. But so she was semi-dating him, kind of like normal, and then he went, fuck. This is what I want to know. Sure, what went on in that fucking motorhome for a couple weeks? How do you plot your getaway? How many, what psychology do you use to stay alive,
Here's the thing. If I was telling this story with her in the room, she'd have to grab a mic because I'm probably fucking up so many details.
Right. That's how you could have done it. Be like,
that's how you get a comic to tell a joke when you don't.
Yes.
They don't want. I'm not doing a bit at the table. You go, okay, I'll do it for you, and then you start fucking it up, and they jump in and go, that's not how it goes.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah, you could be like, remember when you had that perm? And she's like, I didn't. maybe or more important.
But since you and I both have murder fantasies and murder obsessions.
Yeah.
First thing I did this morning was go outside and smoke cigarettes, thinking about fucking how do we murder the murderer. It's like Junior Stocker's
I remember
bit.
years ago, like you calling me late at night, going, "Are you ready yet? What to take out the asshole?" Like, remember? I think you were sort of like, kind of like when do we go kill the fucking Chaille, kind of like the Illuminati kind of.
I think everyone like us that watches a lot of Dateline NBC or any kind of murder documentaries, there's part of you going, okay, how do I bank all of this knowledge to one day get away with it? I think that's every
I think
housewife.
getting away with murder is way easier than you think. But here, it's stranger murder, stranger on stranger, that is really hard. But like if you kill your friend, if you kill Bingo, they might look at you. But yeah. I never think about the murder, but I remember after Mitch died, I would ride my bike late at night and I was like secretly like, I hope I get murdered because I don't want to kill myself because that'll be bad. But if I get murdered, I'm like, what the fuck? So I would put myself out like I was entrapping. It was entrapment.
Is that why you did the show last night in Skid Row?
Have you
I'm
been
gonna
to
go
Skid
out
Row?
front and have a cigarette. Don't go. You fucking opened the door for a fucking homeless person.
I don't know what. No, he wasn't homeless. He was like a beefcake fucking muscle guy having a fight with his girlfriend. So I was on stage and the back door to the alley started booming.
Okay,
and I hit it.
let me describe.
Okay.
This is a punk rock theater. It used to be a theater that was probably nice one day, and then it's dilapidated.
It's got like a million posters.
And so there's a big stage and a bunch of standing people dying in heat prostration. Is that the word? Okay. So just off to...
I know, performing with hot people standing. Oh.
If you're standing on the stage, to your left, there's the fire exit, which we
right
came
behind
in.
You.
That has a chain link fence with no lock around rats and a dumpster. There was a rat trap in the bathroom of the green room, and I go, Jesus, did you see that? And Shawcroft goes, that's a mouse trap. I go, no, that's a rat trap. She goes, how do you tell the difference? I go, that's like a half a foot long. Jesus.
I know, like, I didn't know there was, like, yeah.
And it's right where if you had big feet and you didn't look down, it would snap on your right toe if you're pissing over the...
Yeah.
So Shawcroft's on stage, and then this violent banging on that back door
like
entrance.
Boom, boom, boom. Steel door.
And I kept hearing it. I didn't know what was going on. And then you go and from the stage with the microphone, go down and open the door.
I was like pleased that I could even do that because usually I'm really so awkward, but I actually was able to walk across.
We had walked in. That's how we got
how we got in the back alley.
After this, like literally junkies shooting up in the doorways in that alley.
Yes.
And we have our fake enclosure.
Yes.
That's a not locked chain link.
Yes.
Like a pen from like death row inmates get to walk 1 hour a day.
Yeah, a holding pen, but small.
Yeah, like 8 feet by 4 feet.
Bro.
And even then, we had a fan come up talking through the chain link and
Yes,
trying to shake hands through.
Kevin, hey man, how's
So
it
you
going?
already know it's a bad area to
But
open
I didn't
a door.
know. I don't know why.
So
I
what
thought it was
happened?
maybe okay. So I was on stage. And I heard boom, 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 and then the microphone was long enough. So I was trying to tell a joke, and I walked and I opened the door, and it's like a guy that's like got crazy eyes, but he wasn't homeless, but he was like a beefy kind of like jockey stout guy, and I think he's telling a girl, go fuck yourself, and he started to come in, and I pushed him really hard. He kept going, mama, hey mama. And I actually when they say mothers get like steel for their kids, I had retard strength, and I like pushed him out, and I said, get out, and I pushed him and slammed the door.
Well, because
it was scary.
I'm watching from the other side of the stage in the wings, and I see you go out to the door, and I realize, that pounding is coming from the door, and the crowd is laughing that you're going to open this door, and they probably think it's a setup, and you have the mic, and I couldn't see what's happening, but you go, okay, what's going on out here? And you go, this was a big mistake.
Did I really?
Yeah. This was a big mistake.
Yeah, he was like pushing in, and I swear I was like, get out. It was crazy. And I was like, oh no, what if I could have unleashed something. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, he was a raged, fiery-eyed,
I don't
beefy
think
alcoholic.
anyone, because you were doing well, and after that...
Things went weird.
I think everyone, there was a bloodlust in the audience. It's one of those things where handling a heckler, sometimes the best way is to ignore them.
Yes.
Because if you draw blood, if it's at the beginning of the show and you
such
just
a weird.
tear them apart, that's all the audience wants.
Oh, interesting.
It's like if you're MMA and you come out and it's the biggest.
What's MMA?
UFC.
Yeah.
And you just start punching each other as hard as you can in the face for the first 30 seconds and then go to ground game.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
Get back to the bloody part.
Can I ask you something though? What happens to me on stage like that? Like what happens is my confidence gets weird, or I start a joke off and I peter out. Like I'm a comedian that peters out the punchline because I feel like everyone's talking and not listening. Do you ever have that? Like I can't tell if people are listening or not, or they're just talking, so I don't know what's happening.
Well, especially in a fucked up venue like that, where
watching people like really hot standing up, they don't understand the energy it takes not to like want to make them comfortable. Like you have to just completely focus. I don't know how you do it.
Again, we're working on eliminating standing shows like that. There's a few places that
it can be fun, work,
but not when it's that hot. Like there's some Red 7 I always use as an example.
Yes.
We've had great shows. I haven't had a lot of complaints, if any. But it's all standing, but you're high enough and it's outdoors, so you're smoking even though it's covered.
Where's Red 7?
In Austin.
Is it outside?
Yeah, technically it's outside.
Oh.
Even though it doesn't.
I've been there. It seems like a building.
Yeah, it's the outside where you perform. There's an inside part, but where we perform. Anyway.
Okay.
Yes, the rickshaw. I love the great times we've had.
Yeah, and like the audience was great, but it is like, remember that fire when that band in Long Island where the pyrotechnics in the fire? Like it's the type of place that if anything
Great
went
light,
down, shit would be fucking crazy.
Yeah, so
can you imagine burning in a nightclub?
I want to look at the fucking place. I don't. Burning it all.
I know, or just trampled on. I used to be like, who cares you're trampled on, whatever. But I've been in a mosh pit. It's fucking hell, probably.
Those my biggest fears in life, I've done this as a joke, but it's true, are being burned to death or buried alive. And those are your only two choices of what to do with your body when you die.
Oh, my God, you're so right. Yeah.
Which of your worst fears would you like in your will?
Buried alive is anything. But yeah,
I guess
but trampled on. Imagine trampled on, or the, like, just the human escape trying to get outdoors and not being able to. I would go crazy because even when I'm at when I go to the airport, even in lines, I start going, that one's open, get over here. I can't, like when things aren't working seamlessly, like humans aren't being thing. Disneyland's got it right. They know how to hoard humans through things. But
hoarding. Oh. I was just about to say there was one other thing we were going to talk about, and I don't even know what it's about anymore. Right. And we're about at an hour.
Yeah, we're good.
But it was hoarding. It was the whole time I'm sitting watching you talk, and you said hoarding. That's the one I'm looking for while I'm pretending to listen.
Hoarding people. Yeah.
We might. You know what? I'm going to have to come back with a couple of plugs, including audible.com when Chaille gets back. So I'm going to pause this. If we have anything else we have to shove in, we can have another break. Otherwise, we'll be going right from this into me talking about other shit that I've written down somewhere else or Chaille tells me to say, or other great stories about great books on tape. I'm going to keep saying that until I learn how to use Audible.
I'll try to figure out to download something because imagine listening to it'd just be like listening to those tapes. We went on the road many years ago. We got like a Beatles anthology, and you've listened to like 24 hours on things, and it's just like that. Imagine being, and like you go to bed, close your eyes, and someone tells you a great story or fact. It's amazing.
My dad would.
Oh my God! If you're writing a book, are you gonna? This is a question. If you're writing a book, are you gonna do the writing?
No, I can't.
Why?
Unless they force me to, because I can't read. I stink at it. I'm just like Bill Burr. My eyes are reading other parts of his sentences.
Interesting. Okay. Who would you hire? Okay, I'm going to give you...
Chad Shank.
Who's Chad Shank?
Well, you got to listen to the podcast. Frequent guest, never time listener. He's a friend of ours from Bisbee.
I'm not
he's on the
I
podcast.
see. But okay, I'm going to give you three people that can read it, and you have to choose out of these people.
All right.
Okay, so number 1, Jeff Bridges.
All right.
Number 2, High Pitch Eric. Is that his name?
Yeah.
High Pitch Eric. Number 3, Dolly Parton. Who would you read in your book?
Well, I'd have to go with Jeff Bridges, of course.
Yeah, that's right. I know. I like Sound Perfect or Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have had to give 3 ridiculous
Yeah.
to make this fun.
Or Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, it's like
I want to give a shout out to
it's
Woody
like
Harrelson.
if you gave me it was F, marry, kill, and you said Hitler, Jesus, and a
Megan.
hot-looking whore.
Exactly. I know. I kind of fucked that up. Yeah. That's true.
But it made me think of the guy from The Big Lebowski and Roadhouse, the guy that's not Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
How about that?
Oh my God. Oh, this is okay. Andy Kindler. This is years ago when I first came to LA. One of my favorite jokes he used to have was, he goes, "Oh, I'm up for a voiceover audition. I hope I get it. It's between me and James Earl Jones."
Yeah,
I've always loved that. It was really good.
All right, we'll be back in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello.
This was the email. I don't know if I even set this up, but I wanted you to read this email because we are equally disturbed by people. I think the Chris Rock movie was where he said celebrities can only complain to other celebrities.
Yeah,
if that's
exactly.
the quote.
They get it. Yeah.
So comics can only complain to other comics about things.
Yes. Yeah.
And I get a lot of nice emails, but I like to read the ones that annoy me
That are off.
or piss me off.
Yeah.
I haven't heard back from that fuckhead who goes, "Oh, you're laughing at nigger jokes. I'm going to write you off." Yeah, haven't heard you. You haven't said a word since that podcast. You fucking cunt, Jack Jameson. Remember your name? Yes, I do.
When did you get this
Thank you, everyone.
email?
That it was a lot of fucking cool people at every show.
Of course. Yeah.
But this one, I had my morning anger.
Yeah.
So I was infuriated, yelling at this guy to Chaille about this guy, reading this out loud. Then
Just to interrupt, Chaille said that there is a routine to Doug because I was like, "What's
everyone
the day?"
that listens
In the morning,
to the podcast
you kind of have angry.
knows,
Okay.
Yes. I have my morning rages, and this I read it, and I just want you to read it because I had morning rage. Then when I got to the podcast, I reread it, and I go, "This is not really worth any kind of rage at all."
Right.
But I want you to
I'm gonna read it and see if there's
and
a
tell
rage.
me at what point you.
Where the rage might have come from, and when did you get this?
It was a few days ago.
Okay.
It was after, let me set this up. It was after the Montreal show.
Okay.
First show, and I got off stage, and that's my calm down period. I got to go have a cigarette and decompress.
Of course.
Because a show
thing.
is like a fist fight.
Sure.
And if I'm going to do a meet and greet and take your pictures, I need 10 or 15, 20 minutes to,
You don't need anyone
let
coming
all the
up to you.
drunken deadweight stumble out that would have asked for a picture just because they're there anyway.
Yes.
Not the people that want one.
Yeah, exactly.
Those people, they can wait. I get off stage, I go in the green room, and there's like 30 fucking people in there.
Yeah, people don't realize how intense
Well,
it is.
Frank ran it, and he had his own party going on. So then I have one clammy-handed kid comes up to me, mop-topped, clammy, the limp fucking fish handshake.
Yeah. And this is right after the show.
Yeah, he said, I just met Marilyn Manson's, the guy who does his artwork, and I never would say this, but I feel like I can make connections now with my music. And first of all, it's so loud. The din of 30 people in the dressing room is so fucking loud that I'm leaning in.
And you're already in a sensory weirdness. After coming off stage, it's like a weird zone. Yeah.
And I go, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about music. I can't help you, but, I just wanted to, and I'm like, I can't really hear you. And I just got to decompress for a minute. And then he sulks off. And in the morning, I get this email. So go ahead and read this aloud.
Okay.
From Ashkan
Malayeri. Okay. Hey, Doug, I wasn't trying to meet Marilyn Manson through you. I just spoken to the dude who did his artwork early on in his career, and the conversation had gone well, so I was feeling overly confident in trying to make another connection, quote. A link on your Facebook page when I released my stuff, in case you... A link on your Facebook page when I released my stuff, in case you liked my stuff, was the sort of thing I was thinking of. I started my music career when I was 16 and never even gave a fuck about making connections until today. And that was because I'd spoken to that dude. Thanks for taking the time to speak to me. I greatly appreciate it. You were nicer and more humble in 2011, though, to be honest.
Is that where you like?
Yeah.
Yeah, repeat that line.
I'm going to go back. Thanks for taking the time to speak to me. I really greatly appreciate it. You were nicer and more humble in 2011.
I was nicer and more humble in 2011. To
What,
be
in
honest.
a fleeting
to be
second? To be honest,
unnecessarily
honest.
fucking honest.
So thanks for everything last night, but you were more shitty.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Were you invited into the green room
Yes.
in 2011? Because you weren't this time.
Yeah,
You're fucking
exactly.
hanging around my private area.
And nice and more humble when, like, this is how fucking.
Hey,
oh,
when I
I'm
met you in
furious
your
right
hotel
now.
room that I got a key to.
Oh my God, I'm furious right now. I know I came into your room during your honeymoon, but you seemed a little short. Oh, I'm furious. This is the sort of thing that made Mitch spit off the fucking edge. Is because when you're talking to people after a show and you're in a fucking mind warp and everybody is like, they know, Mitch's thing too is like, they know your name because they just fucking introduce you. They're like, remember me? I was in Utah. And it's so overwhelming and shitty. And all you're trying to do is think and also not be rude. Because being rude is the worst feeling. You never want to like talk to someone and then just cut them off because they remember that. And it's like work. That was his biggest thing. It's fear. Like when he went on a tour with Chaille could buy everyone a shot and go, yeah, fuck off and get away with it. But it was intense. And it's fucking distressing. Like they don't imagine being talked to and they all know you.
Chaille quit drinking because he couldn't fucking enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why Ashcan, you killed Mitch Hedberg. It's backhanded slap.
Weird
Thank you very
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
He ends it with, you're still the greatest comedian of all time.
Or like,
even though you were more humble and cool in 2011.
Because my judgment on you is I'm deciding on how you talk to a stranger who's talking too fast about themselves. This is my judgment. I will talk about myself if and you don't grip onto it and continue on, even though you're in a mass of people and you just finished work. That's my judgment of humble and what is it? Nicer and humbleness. Well, that's what I used to do extra work years ago when I was a teenager, and extras are always like, yeah, you know what? Alec Baldwin, a fucking dick. I'm like, what? For once, it's crazy. I'm furious. They're like, yeah, because I went up to him and said, my niece likes you. And, he was like, oh my God. Like he was in the scene probably, you fucking. Okay. Thanks for taking the time to speak to me. I just want to see.
I knew you'd get furious where I got furious at that fucking email.
What is he saying really here? It isn't even anything other than
trying to get one fucking breath before I had to go out and actually meet people that were where they were supposed to be, which is not my fucking green room.
Yeah.
I'm more humble. You should have gotten fucking slapped in the face and hurled out by the seat of your pants by a big security
it's
guard.
So weird because I remember Mitch saying too, like, you give power to everybody. Like people would do crazy things and I'm like, oh no, did the waitress think I was this? People would come in and be like, hey man, you're coming with us. Like things that are insane.
Like Kevin last night through the chain
that
link
you
fence.
like give power to and go, okay. This was Mitch too. Mitch was like, it's never enough in a way. He goes, it took me 15 years to write this 45 minutes and then they want more. And then his whole thing was like, no one gets to meet fucking Prince, but comedians, you could touch them. Oh, and it's not egotistical. It's just so stressful.
This is another email that I hope I sent to Chaille, but I'll just burn it by paraphrasing. Saw you were going to be, how much would you charge for a wedding or something?
Yeah.
Or a private party. Saw you were in wherever that was sold out. I wanted to come in and talk to you, but it was $50 and there were 5 of us. But I wanted to ask you how much. People think that you can, I'm not here for you to come in and chat with. I do a show.
Yeah, it's weird. And you're so grateful, like, trust me. And it's almost so much empathy for the fans that hurts. But it's like a weird thing.
The way that I wanted to come in to talk to you, but I didn't want to pay $50 for 5 of us to come talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm not here.
It isn't like I'm not like there's no appointment for this service.
No.
It's not enough, and especially now with all the Twitter, it's like I remember reading about this band. Like, yeah, they were really nice. They used to come out and talk to the fans, but now they don't. Like, and okay, this is an example of like John's parents, who I adore. They went on a tour of like the Warner Brothers set or whatever. Those tours that they do every day, and I think they saw. Daniel Ggreg or something, and like she was like, we waved and they said don't talk to that. We waved and he didn't wave back, and I was like, John was like, yeah, they're working, and they're like, yeah, but you know what? without us, they wouldn't. Like, it's that kind of thing. We pay you. So it's a weird thing.
We pay you to.
Yeah. But they don't know the work. Like, they don't understand the, like, you got into something that you could be homeless at any second, or the years you created that art. Like, if it's not enough that you've created this hour of art, which I believe it to be, but it is a weird thing. Like, you could have a killer show and, like, you accidentally bump someone. They'll be like, he's a fucking shithead, man.
And I would like search the internet going, I'm sorry, I was in a hurry.
Yes. And it haunts
that's
you.
what
Those
I'm
are
doing
things
to
that haunt you.
Ashcan right now.
Ashcan, you killed Mitch Hedberg. Okay.
You killed Mitch Hedberg.
Yeah,
but,
this is stressful.
But I'm only upset because one guy thinks I was a dick when I was actually trying to get in the headspace to be nice to more people.
He, like, Ashran, this is what probably Doug was hearing. He got off stage and you were talking. This is what he heard. I was the one that we don't have no man. It was probably like that. And it's almost like you're in a kaleidoscope and there's 100 people talking and you're alert because you're on stage because you listen. And
you ever see?
But you were nicer in 2011. I want to know what you did in 2011, Ashran.
When athletes are like walking into the tunnel and everyone's leaning over, we're trying to high five or get an autograph.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that guy, LeBron, must feel, if he's anything like me, he feels like such a fucking asshole for not being able to sign all those things and high five everyone.
Or think about the amount of energy it takes to ignore. Like, try looking at a page and not reading it. Your eyes just do it. That's like being around people. Try being around humans and being able to, like, block it out to go do the work. Like, yeah, or also people in the green room before the show. You don't mind, do you? Meanwhile, like, yeah, like I look back now, it's haunting, bitch. Yeah. Okay, so.
All right, that's it.
What can I say?
That's all.
Should I finish it?
No. He ends it nice. It was I wanted you to read it to notice that fucking sentence, and as soon as you read it, your face curled up, and that's furious. What I was furious. And then when I went to reread it. Every other part of it, you're still the best comic.
No, that whole thing. No. You're still the best. I still think. No, it's all that one line. Every other line about it is a shadow of that line.
Yeah, it's all shit away, and I felt like shit.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Of course. And people, you feel awful.
You have the biggest dick. You're have the most beautiful eyes. I'd kill myself to honor you. But you were better in 2011.
Oh,
and you're like, fuck you.
Oh, yeah. They don't understand. And back to Michigan, everyone thinks he had stage fright. That's why he closed his eyes. No, he closed his eyes because when you look into the audience, the first thing you see is the person, like, just fucking looking shitty. And he wanted it to be positive. Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah. That's why he closed his eyes. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But about how weird. To be honest, you were nicer and humble in 2011. First of all, I want to know what that interaction was. What did you do? Did you high five him? Was there a contact?
Yeah, Ashcan, you don't even listen to this fucking podcast, so fuck you. But if you do,
what happened? What was the transaction?
What was 2011?
Yeah.
It was probably that first Just for Spite we did, where we announced the dates 2 weeks before at a fucking 50-seat punk rock club.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was probably a guy with blow.
Yeah, exactly.
You're more humble then.
Yeah.
You talked a lot. Well,
I want to have a TV show, and Ashcan, you're going to be the first reality show. What it is you're put into a room where everybody knows your name and lots of things about you, and then you have to talk to them individually while talking to everybody else at the same time.
I've already pitched this show. It's called So You Really Think You Want to Be Famous. It's a reality show where you just make people go through the worst parts of being so everyone
it's terrifying. I know, and people but this
you
is
go
like
to the fucking
I'm
grocery
sorry,
store.
you get paid $28 million to do this, and I'm like a regular person with 3 kids. Okay, so that's another thing I want to talk about. People who go, look, I'm here trying to work 3 jobs to raise 3 children. You decided that. That isn't the norm, and then celebrity or thing. There's choices and work ethic and different things involved. Yeah, it isn't.
You don't walk out of the house and the fucking tabloid at the Safeway is your fucking cellulite.
Oh, it's horrifying.
Yeah, you don't have ex-boyfriends putting out sex tapes of your unshaved fucking pussy, like everything.
Oh yeah, or on deathbed.
Well, I'd do it
Hepburn.
for $28 million. Okay.
No, okay.
Well, that's our reality show. Is we're gonna put you through all the awful fucking parts. Nothing is secret.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through your garbage. TMZ follows you night and day. They make fun of you. They catch you edit. And we see how long before you kill yourself.
Oh yeah, and the work that you have to do as an actor, you work really hard, but also previous to that, you get rejected for 10 years. This is the reality show. 10 years, like, no, you don't know. And then you're aging and questioning your life. And then when you work on certain things, it gets criticized or doesn't work out.
Oh, how about this? You get $1 million for doing this.
Yeah.
Where you think that's a lot of money.
Right.
And then, of course, your agent and manager get 25%.
Yes,
after the fucking IRS takes 48%.
I know, yeah.
The $1 million gets cut down to like $190,000 immediately, and you blow that. And now, guess what? The reality show goes on. You've spent the money, but you're still... You can't quit.
You can't quit.
Everyone always notices you. They point you out. Now they call you washed up wherever you
go.
Oh,
yeah. And even if you're doing tons of stuff, it's a washed up. You're now considered what happened to, and you're existing in your life and your relationships.
A broke octomom.
Yes.
You're a fucking has-been octomom, 15 minutes of fame, and that $1 million has all been pissed away.
Oh, yeah. The money thing's hilarious. This is my final thing. I want to pitch one more show. Do you have enough money where we can hire a crew and trail Harvey Levin like a reality show and watch his every move?
We've talked about that too, yes. Right. Put the paparazzi on the paparazzi.
Oh, yeah, continuously, like in a nightmare.
That's, all my shows are revenge-based.
Yes.
And I'm not even a celebrity. Like, I had enough of celebrity to know that I wouldn't want more. What it would be like.
Oh my God. Yeah, you have enough of that kind of intensity around shows. But yeah, like, can you even, I used to bartend in Toronto, and Forrest Whitaker was a customer, and he came in, was just having a glass of wine. And he was like, I was kind of telling, like, being funny. And you know how comedy is. This guy came up, hey, and he literally asked, so how much do you make, man? Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
Can you even fathom, like, the Brad Pitt? Like, what is that existence like? Like, it's unreal. That's why you have sheltered. To. That's why you seclude yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And live in your bubble.
And then they still try to get in your bubble.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I just know that near the show, outside smoking a cigarette. What if that was your whole life?
Oh, yeah. And what people, and it isn't a case of they're bugging me, they're intruding. It's because you're a human being with empathy and you want to have valid experiences with humans. That's why it's stressful.
But you
don't want to
shut
it down.
Valid experiences with crowds.
No, not at all.
Mobs.
Yeah.
And
them talking at you.
I've met great people at an airport bar where I'm very randomly recognized, and you go, then it's cool as shit.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm not a celebrity.
Yes, yeah.
But if what happens before a big show happened every fucking
every
day of
second
your life
of every
on national media, people go, oh, he's just fucking bitter because he's not famous. No, I've been just famous enough in a small, secluded, isolated.
Well, also, you're really great at what you do, so there's a different kind of like connection. The way people deal with you. But
it's like people, like if you go, I don't like flambe. Well, you're just bitter because you couldn't have all the. No, I had a taste. I don't need more to.
Or
know
if you
that
don't like
it.
something, I hate this. You're a hater. Oh, okay. So like, if I criticize Hitler, you're just a hater. Like, it's all that.
All right.
Whatever.
We're going.
But anyway,
babbling on. All right, that was the Doug Stanhope podcast again. And of course, Lynn Shawcroft. You can find her at what's your Twitter?
It's at Shawcroft. I sometimes I haven't been doing it a lot lately, but I'll get involved. And thank you for having me, Douglas.
Do you do the Facebook more than the?
I'm kind of I go in and binge and come out. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't promote Facebook, but you can find her there.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
All right, so how was that for your first sponsored podcast? The first Doug Stanhope sponsored podcast, paying for Chaille to keep doing this work. Go to audiblepodcast.com/Doug Stanhope. Choose from over 180,000 titles and tell me the ones you think I will like, just like we do with documentaries. And I look forward to hearing from you. And don't try to sell me your book. If it comes from your email and you happen to be the author, thanks. But yeah, all right. All right, that was rude. Someone just sent me their book in the mail. It's like 1,300 pages. Oh. No note or anything. And it actually sounds good. That's actually, it was something I would listen to on tape, but I'm not reading 1,300 pages. Yeah, if I'm flying to Stockholm, I can listen to that there and back. But so yeah, go to audible.com, and thanks for not giving me shit for selling out.